What is going on, New York Giant fans? Welcome back to another edition of the Roster Bubble series. Like, comment, and subscribe. Turn on post notifications so you know when a live stream pops or a video drops. Appreciate you all coming back. Also, share this out and be on the lookout for more New York Giants content, Yankees content, other content, live streams, videos, stuff like that. We appreciate you guys and just keep it here. Do all the good stuff. Another Roster Bubble series video for today. In these type of videos, I take a player that's on the cusp of being cut. I talk about their background. I talk about their competition. Ways they could win a spot on the roster. Ways they could lose a spot on the roster. And let's get into it. Devery Hamilton is our candidate once again for this year, and he's our candidate today. So he's an interesting player. He was born in Germany, so I thought I'd throw that out there. 25 years old, 6'6", 311. Was an undrafted free agent out of Stanford and Duke. Signed with the Raiders in 2021. Was with them in the preseason. Was cut, signed to their practice squad, cut again. Tacked on to the Giants practice squad for the 2021 season. Signed a futures contract. Then impressed really well during New York Giants training camp in 2022. And I had to make a roster bubble video on him last year, as mentioned. And I'm thinking to myself, well, this guy's not really going to make it. So I had to do more in-depth research. And then he just started playing really well in the situations that the New York Giants put him in. Playing left guard, playing right tackle, playing left tackle if need be. It was one of the most impressive camps I've seen. And he was versatile. He played well against different guys. I know he played in the Jets game primarily as a tackle, in which a lot of people were saying just keep him at guard. The game against the Bengals, he played left guard alongside Andrew Thomas and Max Garcia, which could have been the starting offensive line. Obviously, it wasn't. But overall, he really impressed. Now, you move to the regular season, and he didn't start any games for the New York Giants. All of that training camp hype would not really result to anything. Now, he did play in week 1 a little bit, mostly as a jumbo tight end and some special teams work as well. But Tyree Phillips, there's a couple other guys that would take his spot. And he played mostly against Chicago in week 4 when Evan Neal got hurt. They decided to pin him as the right tackle. Matt Parrott was also not back yet, and that's one of the guys who took his spot later in the year. He also played some snaps against Jacksonville as a jumbo tight end when they were trying to run out the clock. But from weeks 12 to 17, he did not play. He was a healthy scratch. He was also a healthy scratch in the playoffs, which also finds to be interesting because in week 17, the Giants did not play any starters. So it was down to Wyatt Davis, Jack Anderson, Shane Lemieux, which I don't think he even played too many snaps that game. Ben Bredesen, other guys that were factoring in there. So Hamilton kind of lost his way, and right now he finds himself on the outside looking in because there's a ton of guys right now in front of him who play both tackle and guard who have the same amount of experience or more experience than he does. And the Giants might like him, might like any of these guys better than him. Competition, Matt Parrott played more down the stretch last year. Played in that Eagles game, for example. A couple other games. Against the Lions, when we were getting our asses kicked, he was the left tackle at the end of the game. And there's talks about putting him at guard. There have been for years. That really never surfaced to anything. But the thing going for Matt Parrott is he has been playing right tackle with the ones with Evan Neal in concussion protocol. Tyree Phillips. This is an interesting character because he was playing left guard, rotating in the first few days of camp. Now he finds himself on possibly the outside looking in. He's been playing right tackle with the second team. Devery Hamilton himself has been playing left and right tackle for the third team. So he's that far down on the food chain. Shane Lemieux, who's been playing center and left guard and right guard as well for the third team. Jack Anderson, same thing can be said for him. Wyatt Davis has been playing right guard and right tackle for the third team. Corey Cunningham has been playing guard, not tackle, but guard for the second and third team. And I think I would put him at the top of the food chain, or at least a little bit more than Devery Hamilton, because Hamilton's been stuck on the third team while Cunningham can play both positions, so can Devery. And Cunningham has been earning more snaps with the higher team, so he's higher on the food chain. How can Hamilton win a spot on the roster? Outperform vets with versatility and performs nicely at the joint practices and preseason games. I think that's going to be one of the biggest things. If injuries start to happen, which we know they will, whether it's offensive line or something like that, whatever. But for this case, if it's offensive tackle or offensive guard, maybe center, and he steps in on the second team and he starts impressing like he did last year again, that could move him up the food chain in terms of the offensive line room. Obviously, once again, Corey Cunningham, Tyree Phillips, those guys are in front of him. And he wants to make an NFL roster spot. So versatility, a lot of guys in the room have versatility, so it's not necessarily, oh my God, he sticks out. No, there's a lot of guys that have versatility, so unfortunately, he's a needle in a haystack. But the one-on-ones are going to be important, especially against the 2s and 3 guys. And if he gets a rep or two against a 1, whether it's Aleem McNeil or somebody on the Panthers or the Jets, it could prove very fruitful for him in terms of making the roster. How can he lose? Loses battle versus 2s and 3s. Doesn't perform well at tackle and guard spots. It's going to be where the Giants place him, where they see fit, not where he actually is fit. We've seen that a couple of times over the last few years with the Giants, the coaching staff, whatever. If they see him as a tackle and don't really put him at guard because they feel they have enough depth there and he doesn't play well at tackle, it's going to be the end of him in a Giants uniform, possibly. I know last year, once again, referencing, played tackle against the Jets, didn't do so well. Played guard against the Bengals, he did well, but they valued him mostly as a tackle. When Bredesen and some of the other cats went out last year, it was Nick Gates, it was Josh Azudu, those guys on the food chain that were higher than him. And he lost out on that. And that's why, once again, he's on the outside looking in. So, how can he win? Outperform vets with versatility, performs nicely at joint practices, preseason games against 2s and 3s, does well in 1v1s. How can he lose? Loses battle versus the 2s and 3s, performs horrendously or not very good at both tackle and guard spots. I think the focus position is specifically tackle. One thing to watch as well, I think he's right now third in line for the backup tackle position because Parrott right now is in front. He's playing right tackle 1 with Evan Neal on the side. Then you got Tyree. Then you got Devery Hamilton. Wyatt Davis can do a couple of different things. So can Corey Cunningham. I don't think they'll stretch Anderson or Lemieux out. But if Devery Hamilton can start to show up a little bit more and play better than Tyree Phillips against pass rushers that have defeated Tyree Phillips, or let's just say, for instance, Julian Okwara goes up against Devery Hamilton and doesn't win, but he wins against Tyree Phillips, that's going to be something the coaches watch for. But in my prediction, I have him getting cut as I did last year. I don't think there's a spot for him. I think he's way low on the food chain. I think he had his little shine last year, and that was pretty much it. Maybe he goes to another roster. Maybe he re-signs with the Giants practice squad if injuries start to happen. But I'm not going to say this with too much intent, if any intent at all. But I think Devery Hamilton has to hope for injuries to happen. Therefore, he could get his spot. Right now, once again, outside looking in, could get a couple of different snaps, maybe with the 2s. Now that Evan Neal is temporarily concussed, it's going to be up to the preseason games for Devery Hamilton to showcase what he can bring to this New York Giants team. Like, comment, and subscribe. Turn on post notifications so you know when a live stream pops to your drops. Appreciate y'all coming back. Peace out, guys. See you later, and stay cool.